he ends up killing this guy, this movie producer, with Smart Piss, and you get 2 pages of literally how Smart Piss works. Alrighty, folks, we're back. Episode 3. Woo! Welcome, folks, to 24/7 Comics Book Club. We're now into King of Spies number 3. And if you haven't done so yet, please do subscribe below, press like or comment. Let us know if there's any other books that you would like for us to review and read. If you haven't seen issues 1 and 2 yet, please go to our YouTube channel right now and take a quick break and take a watch. We've cut these down so they're tight and easy and efficient for you to catch up on what's going on. So please do that first, and then we could dive into King of Spies number 3. And I'm Carl Choi, co-founder and publisher of 24/7 Comics, and my co-host.
What's up, everybody? I'm Sarah, collector, cosplayer, just huge fan of all things and learning right along with you. So yes, we're doing issue 3, King of Spies. We're getting into the feels of this one. I mean, this is just a really complex comic. If you would like, give us some suggestions because we are ready to do this on a weekly basis. So let us know what you think, guys, and thanks for joining us.
Cool. Without further ado, King of Spies, issue number 3. Alrighty, how's the focus? Focus looks good. All right. So the issue in itself, the cover, says it all. I think it's about to go down.
We have all our main characters present now.
And everything's been leading up to this, and I think this is actually probably my favorite cover of all of them because it actually captures most of the action, all the tension between the different characters. Obviously, there's a variant covers with Matteo Scalero, one of the co-creators or artists working with Mark Millar, a very well-known individual whose company, Millar World, was acquired by Netflix. We also have another variant cover. I forgot to look up who this is, but you guys could look at it yourself. But furthermore, if you guys don't mind, we're going to do a quick commercial break. This is Zero Ghosts, number 1, Ashcan edition. We currently have a Kickstarter coming up. So if you haven't done so yet, please do a huge favor and click notify me on launch. Every person counts. Or if you're watching this when this campaign is going on, please do give us a back, and we'll make sure you get some great rewards with it. Why this is relevant is because Justin Jordan, the co-creator alongside Brian Ching, he had previously collaborated with Matteo Scalero on a comic called Dead Body Road. And Brian Ching himself worked on Star Wars for about a decade until he joined us here at 24/7 Comics. So depending on when you're watching this, there'll be a different phase of release, and there'll be different editions of Zero Ghost number 1 available. We will be at San Diego Comic-Con this year, and so definitely check it out. We're going to do a digital release. But without further ado, we'll kind of bring us back to our topic of conversation today. Here we go.
There we go.
If you haven't seen issue 1, again, as mentioned, please do dive into our issue 1 review and read up on all the creators and who's who. So we kick it right off in the Vatican City. It's so funny. I've been to Vatican City. I totally remember these guards. They're really funny. Yeah, they're just, they're basically the Vatican City's own police. So I don't even know this, but it's its own country. And so they have their own rules, and that's just how powerful the Catholic Church is. And it's really interesting how he kind of starts it off here, because obviously I think we all know there's lore of Catholicism and some of the higher ups and what they do. And to me, it's just the business of anything that gets too big. Any big corporation, you gotta have some bad apples. And unfortunately, I think with the Catholic Church, there's been a lot of that history. And what's interesting is he's right back to business, Mr. Roland King himself.
This is quite the target this time. So we are seeing him seemingly going after the Pope now.
Yeah, and this plays right into Millar's pitch black sense of humor. He has a freaking needle in the Pope's neck, putting him to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a pretty black sense of humor here. The whole storyline so far is he has 6 months to live, probably less than that now, and he's going to take out everyone that he knows has been wrong, whether he's been a part of it or not. And I mean, wow, just for issue 3, straight up, what is this, page 2? And he's injecting the Pope with, we're about to see what.
Yeah, and I think what's really beautiful is at one moment he's putting him to sleep, next moment he's in the forest, and the use of shadows here is really powerful because there's never pitch darkness, but you're kind of seeing the lighting reflect exactly where Millar wants you to see, or in the way
You really feel like you're there because you can't see. You almost have to strain to see. You know it's secretive and you're trying to make out what exactly is going on here. And he wakes up in this forest and they're not alone.
Yeah, it sounds like this version of the Pope has wronged a lot of people. I'm guessing family members, and Roland wanted to give this mob here an opportunity to pay back.
This is another big elaborate cover up, and he's brought all these victims together to witness his version of justice.
And it's funny, he kind of walks away, leaving his fate to this mob. Making fun of the situation. Maybe a confession will be enough. And it's really interesting because you kind of then dive into what happens in the aftermath, and this guy was crucified, and it's a rough one.
This is very, very gory. This is very in depth to the amount of wrongs this comic is alleging the Catholic Church has made, and he still had time to light up the cigarette, but he's leaving it to the people. So, well, they crucified what was left is the end of that.
Yeah, and then it jumps right back to the agency's office where Roland used to work, and is this dude. And what's interesting is, Mark Millar is so funny because you could totally see this as like a comedic scene in the movie. Because when they're talking about him, they're talking about how he killed this famous movie producer, and we're not unexposed to another movie producer in our real world that kind of what had a lot of dark secrets. And so what's even funnier is the way he addressed it was he killed him with this thing called
Smart Piss.
Oh yeah, Smart Piss. He killed him with this thing called Smart Piss. He ends up killing this guy with this movie producer with Smart Piss, and you get 2 pages of literally how Smart Piss works. He eats a pill, he pisses. I don't know if he like splatters on the guy, but it goes up through that guy's urethra, and then he blows him up. So it's hilarious.
That is crossing swords, and maybe you should be careful doing that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, definitely watch out for crossing swords. So next time if someone's in the bathroom aiming at definitely be careful.
Playing around in there.
Basically, they're doing a recap of what has happened. Roland has just killed a bunch of people. Prime Minister of Pakistan, 20 senior Saudis, and Russian billionaire, fed a Russian billionaire to a polar bear. Freaking hilarious. Right. So much capture in Mr. Scalero's fashion. He literally recapped again for us in 3rd issue everything that's been happening leading up to now, the moment that we're at.
Yeah. They're kind of just going over, recapping him, trying to get a hold on this guy, trying to track him. And he's untraceable. He's using everything they ever taught him and gave him against them now.
And then you're back to the agency where they basically now are questioning, hey, are we making the right decision? Because we chose Atticus, his son, to lead this next mission. And what's really kind of interesting is, there's an assumption by this other character speaking to the lead, he's a mama's boy. He's like, no, not really. He just learned at a very young age not to give a shit about anyone. And so you're being set up that Atticus, he's basically harmless. He's ready to go, and he's a killing machine as well, just like his dad.
Yeah. And it's almost like humanizing in a way where it's like maybe him and his father, that's just how they are, who they are.
Yeah, like father, like son, right? Kind of like they say, apple don't fall too far from the tree. This is basically a scenario of that. And in a very similar fashion, he's smoking a cigarette. And he says, what's a Pall Mall? He said he smokes Pall Mall. You know what that is?
Yeah, it's another. It's like usually like it's like a Newport. It's like another kind of cigarette brand.
Okay.
So he has his own brand that he's loyal to. Could never do the cobs like his dad.
Got it. Okay, so it's kind of shown that they have very similar, uh, I guess, behaviors, but they have different loyalties
They're
into what
so parallel, but so just stubborn.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then it jumps right to another mission because basically Atticus is being set on a mission to hunt for his father, and they apparently kind of know where Roland King is now, and you're seeing that there's kind of two sides of the same story coming together now finally.
Right. Yep. He's definitely being hunted down now. Atticus has a team with him, so they really know this is like the ultimate mission.
Yep, he's on a mission, and while this guy, while Roland, we'll go back to Roland's mission now. He doesn't know he's being hunted, but he's learned enough to know he needs to cover his back. So while this team is coming up to hunt him, he gets a little signal from a cigarette box that people are coming up, and so he knows they're coming. And
Yeah.
by the time they get here, he's not there. And then what happens?
Oh my. In the truest fashion, there's another bodily function about to be ruined today.
Yeah, Miller is a very very I don't know how to say it, very dark sense of humor in the way he thinks about sex and violence and how it all kind of ties together. And you could totally see this in like a Guy Ritchie movie. You know how like fights and then like they get punched and then the bone shatters. So this is definitely like a scene right out of Guy Ritchie's movie.
Yeah, he's vulgar, he's cheeky, and we love it. He's got a bomb up his arse.
Yep. Boom, and then you see him jump out, and
he's got his dad's style here.
Yep, and perfect display of him not giving a crap about anyone. He literally has two guys who's going to shield his fall.
This is so cool. It's giving that flashback. It's giving like his dad's Panama, the coloring. It's very like showing these similarities. They're enemies right now, but damn, they're similar.
It's so interesting. I mean, his dad must be more powerful because his dad can like fall on his back.
Yeah, he's not shooting anyone or doing anything else. He's just falling in style into a vehicle. So
yeah, with two bodies under him.
He's still young.
So then, of course, the dad, as always, gets away and he finds another moving vehicle to jump onto. This guy's like a video game, right? He's like Super Mario style, just jumping from like moving vehicle to moving vehicle. But this time jumps like right in front of a moving train.
I mean, I've seen some like incredible parkour, and I think this is the end goal for them.
Yeah, this is grandpa parkour all the way. So he's in a train. He obviously lands at the station. He's now, it's full on in pursuit. These guys are after him, and he's making his way out.
And it looks like they're really narrowing in on him here. It's like the closer they get to him, the more people, the more like suffocated you feel to reading this. It's like he's at the end of his road here. I mean, there's no buildings to jump off of. He's just surrounded by people. And typically he doesn't take out innocent people. So you get that feeling of like they're closing in.
Yeah, it's really interesting too, where something about the world building here. What do you think is happening? It looks like there's a whole
like protest.
Is it the of the UK, or is there like a riot going on upstairs? Like what's happening? Oh, French protesters. Okay.
And you've seen a lot of protests. We had like environmentalists in the last issue. So there's a lot of like his focus on the wrongs of the world and people redeeming them in their way.
Yeah.
So here, oh boy, here we go. They're back.
Yeah, guess who he runs into?
And it's subtle. You have to really be paying attention here to be like, who the fuck and what the fuck.
Yeah, instantly. He's like walking through the crowd. All of a sudden, they're just there waiting for him.
Yeah. And they've got a new look. They look very tactical. I like how he kind of like they use the same colors a lot of the time. So you have to search for it. You have to like pick up these subtleties. Like they're blending in and the one key action is popping out.
Yep. And they're shooting away. They don't give a crap like who they're after. They're literally just blasting. You're seeing all those, I guess, police force in riot gear is just getting shot as well.
Right.
Boom.
Right.
Okay. So the action proceeds. I mean,
It's cool.
they're going at it. What's really awesome about Idris and Itzy, they have this crazy profile together, and it's very noticeable, right? And
Mm.
so they were still able to blend into the crowd, but once they are in action, it's fully synchronized and
Yeah.
like a crazy dual tag team effect with an armless woman and legless man, and then there's this like crazy coordination of them as they fight Roland. He's even kind of like, what the hell is this?
That's true. It's like, how do you beat somebody who's so powerful on their own? And it's like, just shock him with like a new force altogether.
I mean, they're dodging his bullets. Look at this. They're, like he's shooting away, and they're literally like dodging all the bullets. It's insane.
It's just wild. Bulletproof souls. It's almost like they've just been taking this time instead of healing to study just defeating him. What does he do? What are his moves? Okay, so we're going to just really bring it when we see him again. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Dude, I'd be so scared if I saw them running at me. Like, what the heck?
And she's like swinging him around like, oh no.
Yeah, her legs are super long and just, flip kicking, back kicking, spin kicking, and then flips around and he's strangling Roland. It's insane. Oh my god.
Yeah. Very formidable.
And then what's really fun is they said, I can't believe we just got the clearance to kill you. And so you realize like they were brought in for a reason. Like I think there's a lot of memories there as to like who they were and what he did to them. And,
destroying this man is like the Christmas wish list of a lot of people at this point.
Yeah, this does make that perfect action movie because you're seeing them fall a bridge. Of course, there has to be a bus that kills their landing. And then, of course, there's a tourist here taking a photo with his smartphone.
It's so it's so relevant. And I just love the introduction. Anything that's like, okay, wow, that's like too outrageous. How? Like at some point in the story, he has an answer for it. Like the gadgets. It's a smoke vest. It's an ass bomb. It's a whatever. So it's just as outrageous as it is, it's almost believable. We're so invested.
So one of the things I want to highlight too is when we talked about this, them dodging the bullets, it's actually called the DeLuca effect. So what that means is using one panel, but there's multiple things happening in that one panel. So another, it's basically this multiple bits of movement that you're able to see, and then you have them blocking and dodging the bullets. And another artist that who's also a fan favorite, his name is Trav Moore. He does a lot of this DeLuca effect, and he references it a lot because he's able to kind of paint worlds where an individual is moving through the world within one panel, but it's very comic driven because at the end of the day, you could only highlight this type of action, and it's as if it's happening in the blur of your eyes as you're watching the action. So I want to just highlight this really quick and before we move on to the next page. So yeah, no, they're in the midst of the fight. I mean, again, they're landed on top of this bus. They're going at it. It's not just them, but Atticus comes back around in a freaking helicopter and machine gun, and he's blasting away.
And he has no idea who these people are. Like, he just does this. So he's just like, how many lives have I fucking ruined?
Dude, it's crazy. Yeah,
like, you think he would remember them of all people, like, even in their new form. But he's just like, okay, then. What?
Yeah, so it's crazy because to them, they're like, he's like their number one mission, right? Like their dream mission.
Right.
To him, they're nothing. They're I'm just gonna say that. Like I don't remember them.
He's so cool. He's just too cool to even remember this. So, oh my goodness.
All right, father versus son. And truly, his son don't give a crap about anyone.
Right.
He's shooting, and there's this like family members getting killed.
Yes.
Yeah, it's super sad.
Such a difference between his passionate, debonair way of like the past and his missions, and his son, cool, dangerous, like, I'm getting my mission done regardless. There doesn't seem to be that like elegance that we were under the illusion that Roland had before. Yeah, this is just cold-blooded.
it just shows he's just so cold-blooded where he literally just, all right, you know what? They're on the car. I'm gonna shoot the driver to get them off of it. Oh my god.
Wow. Yeah.
All right. So boom, they what happens? So the driver takes off, he misses.
It's missing. Just you're getting flashbacks to the mom.
Oh yeah, what happened? So it was the luck he'll be waiting on the other side. Oh, so they're going into a tunnel now. So he's like, darn. Okay.
And he's still having these seizures and stuff. So he can definitely be having these flashbacks. Doesn't seem like he's realized who he's fighting yet. He's just kind of like going through the motions of survival and kicking ass as he does.
Yeah, what's really cool is basically the tunnel saves Roland from his son. And then this flashback happens and he says, oh, Roland, you're never going to stop, are you? So is this his wife that's saying that to Roland?
It looks like a pregnant wife there smoking a
Oh,
cigarette.
shoot. Yeah, oh my god.
And he's also smoking a cigarette. And my god, he looks like his son in that, doesn't he? He looks just like Atticus.
That's crazy. Okay, so that's interesting. It's a moment where his wife is still doing painting, so it's like her modern day. And then is it her flashback or his flashback? It's hers, right?
It's hers, because look, she's thinking about them in her art studio in, where did they say she was? Some island somewhere.
Got it.
Yeah.
So what you were saying earlier was he started talking about not, don't get fuzzy now. He's kind of talking himself out of it, like, what the heck am I doing?
And then you get a blackout. This is where they fucking get you.
Oh man. They're in the tunnel.
Ooh, I got little chills there.
He's like, oh, don't do it. Don't do it. This is a stupid old man. Man, this is it. So he thinks it's almost like his time in the tunnel. And
they just leave you hanging there. Yep. This time, they just leave you completely hanging.
The story does continue. So if you haven't done so yet, please do subscribe below. Press like, comment. Tell us what other books we should be reading. Anything we're missing out on. We are looking for books that are ideally creator-owned and indie publishers that don't get a lot of exposure, and we want to basically bring them to the forefront. So with that said, thank you. Once again, I'm Carl Choi and
Sara NerdyBarbie. Good seeing you guys. Next time.
No shortcuts, no fake smiles, we're real.